Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Basically, this is the 17th number part. In this, basically, we are going to see this syntax. Basically, this is HTML, this is HTML, this is PHP. Echo basically is written to print the hello world. In this, basically, the semicolon basically is compulsory. Semicolon means that command has ended. Basically. So this was the command, and this basically ended here. So this is one line command basically. Semicolon means it ends the command basically. And PHP basically is a case sensitive basically. That basically we have already discussed basically. For example, if condition is there, while conditions are there, echo basically writes case functions, user defined functions if you are writing. User defined function means basically you can say, for example, one person told that I want to write one function basically of removing the character, removing the space. So he told that basically R should be capital and rest of other should be small letter. So he told that basically that is basically the his format basically of the function. So here basically you can say it's not a case sensitive. Why? Because it's a user defined function basically. So that are not basically the case sensitive. So these all basically are the syntax basically, that also you can see basically. See. However, all variables names are case sensitive. So variable names basically are case sensitive basically. For example, you are defining one variable name as $INTF. F is capital. So everywhere basically you have to write down F as a capital only basically. Why? Because it's a case sensitive basically. This type of thing basically are case sensitive. But it's a user defined function basically. So user defined function basically are not case sensitive. Why? Because it's a by default na basically. It's a logically basically if you see, it's a user defined. You have defined it. So you, whatever way you have defined, according to that only basically it works basically. For example, one person told that I have created this society basically, or basically these apartments, or basically this infotech park. In infotech park basically there are automatic lift basically, and in other infotech park basically there is no automatic lift. Why? Because he actually has defined the automatic lift, and another side basically he has not defined. So that's basically user defined basically. So this basically we are basically connecting the physical areas and the logical areas basically, that is the commands basically, how basically everything is basically connected with each other basically. So how basically the PHP has designed, that basically we are telling. For example, we have basically already told that basically that in new version of the PHP 100 new city has created. So 100 new city has created, according to that basically the command basically has created na basically. So this command basically are not case sensitive. Why? Because he has designed according to his basically. He has basically designed according to that. For example, one one inbuilt function basically is there in Oracle, sorry, in PHP. So in PHP basically inbuilt function basically are case sensitive, but the function basically which is created, which is basically user defined, that itself basically is telling that basically we basically has created like this only. For example, fun one PHP function is there. In really basically there is no fun function basically, but in fun basically f is a capital basically. So you have to write down as a f as a capital only. So here basically it's not case sensitive. Function is case sensitive basically. PHP created functions are case sensitive, but if it's written like that fun and f as a capital, then basically you have to write as a f as a capital only. Why? Because it's written like that way only basically. So that basically is the difference between case sensitive and not case sensitive basically. So this thing basically we have already solved. See, this we have already shown case sensitive and sensitive. It's written is like this. So real basically when you spell the user defined variable, it should be treated like this only. Otherwise it will give an error. It will say that basically the variable is undefined. Undefined means there is no variable like this basically. Now basically comments basically you can understand basically what is comment basically. So one of the person told that comment means what basically. So comment means in English word basically it's a comment basically. For example, one function basically you have written, right? It's a user defined function, but it's a so lengthy function basically that if you will see that function after 2 days basically you itself basically will say that basically yaar ye kya likha hai, what I have written this. Why? Because it's so lengthy. So one of the person basically in PHP told that basically for that type of thing basically you can write down the comment basically in code itself basically, so that the compiler will not read that much line basically. Why? Because it's a command, it's a comment basically. So they will ignore the compiler will ignore that much line. How to write the comment, that basically we will see just next basically. So compiler will not able to understand basically. Compiler will ignore that much part basically. Because why? It's a comment basically. Logically, compiler should do like this basically. So this is the comment. See basically how it's written. See basically this way basically comments are written in PHP. The people basically who know C++ basically, or basically ASP, old OE ASP was there, active server pages. For them basically it's very easy to learn the PHP basically. But the people who are new into PHP, they basically have to understand everything from start basically. So see basically, first way of writing the comment, 2/ hash multiple line commit. One person says that I want to write multiple line comments, 4 to 5 lines. Otherwise basically he will say I will write down one line hash, second line also hash, third line also hash, fourth line also hash. So you have to write down everywhere basically hash. So instead of that basically you can write like this. This is the star and slash, and this is basically close the data basically. So this everything basically physical places are basically created somewhere. Places basically are created somewhere of this particular data basically. So you can just understand basically how the stuff basically are connected. So one of the person to the comment basically is written here. So how the physical area might be created? Because in PHP we have told that basically 100 new city has created. Sorry, 100 from 100 city basically it has there. So in next video basically we are going to see a bit more.